I have to make it very clear. The president of the local resident society would be too much for me, to be honest. I have to say that.
Well, if you've been watching the Traitors Ireland, and who hasn't, you'll know it's full of twists, turns and shocks, but none bigger than when fan favourite and Limerick man Paudie Maloney was finally banished. He was the last of the original traitors standing, and he didn't just leave quietly. He left with a mic drop reveal that has gone viral since.
Paudie, you have been banished from the castle forever. Now, before you go and tell us whether you are a traitor or a faithful, is there anything you'd like to say to the other players? You can speak now.
There's a lot I'd like to say, actually. On my way home to my wife, my 4 beautiful children, my 9 grandchildren. I'm looking forward to seeing them all. I really am. You might know my family, but you've met one of them. My son, Andrew, and I am a traitor.
Well done, players. You're back to your winning ways. You've got a traitor.
Come on, Paudie! Yeah!
And we're delighted to say that Paudie joins us now in the studio, and indeed his son Andrew is with us as well, and you're both very welcome. Paudie, I mean, even the reception you got coming in here this morning, you know, we have our share of reasonably well-known people who pop in here, but it's on a different level with you.
I don't know why, Joe, to be honest, but I'm delighted, absolutely thrilled with it. I can't get over it. But the goodwill and the positivity that's coming from people, it's just brilliant. It is really brilliant.
I believe you couldn't get from one end of the Crescent Shopping Centre to the other.
That was fantastic altogether, to be honest. Yeah, people are so nice to be, you know, I mean, and I don't mind. I mean, it's just so nice to meet those people, and you know, strangers walking up, calling your name, people shouting out the cars, well, Paudie, you know, it's just been something else.
Yeah.
You know,
Did you have any idea what you were getting yourself into with the Traitors Ireland?
Absolutely not. No, I mean, I've watched all the UK Traitors, and I've watched some of the New Zealand ones, and I love the game, and I just expected to go in and play the game, last a couple of episodes, and you know, and say I've had a great experience. But this has just gone to another level, as you say.
What prompted you to say, I want to be in the Traitors?
Well, I loved, as I say, I watched the UK. I love the game. I absolutely love it.
I know, but I love it too, but I wouldn't get involved.
Wouldn't you? Yeah, well, I tell you, everybody should look to go in there, because it's a great experience. It's you've got to have nerves, you know, almost like steel, but you have to be able to laugh at yourself as well, and you have to be able to enjoy yourself, you know. So,
did you pop in an application then? Or?
Yeah, Andrew sent me on the link, and you just fill out a form, and you did a small video. That was it, and it went on from there then.
Yeah,
you know.
And did you know Andrew was going to take part himself, or do you think he was just popping the link on to you?
Oh, Andrew would. I knew he'd apply, but we didn't. We were told from that very first application, you tell nobody else. You tell your partner, you tell your wife, nobody else. And I absolutely took that to the core of it, like, because I didn't want to destroy my chances of getting on there. If it came out that I was telling half the country I was after applying and I couldn't get on, you know, so I just kept my mouth shut.
What about your good wife, though? So she was aware?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And what did she say to you about taking part in this television phenomenon?
She loves it. She loves the game. She loves the programme, the UK one. And she was as excited for me as I was for myself, to be honest.
Right.
And she was 100% behind me, and still is to this day. She's, I mean, obviously her life has been turned upside down a little bit as well, but she's enjoying it as well, so it's great, you know.
And Andrew, good morning to you as well.
Good morning, Joe. How's it going?
So,
hey, Daddy.
How are you going, Andrew?
Hey, Daddy, we'll get to that in a minute, but anyway. Who's calling who, Daddy? But I mean, what about your mum? I mean, did you tell her that you were taking part?
No. I just threw the link into the family chat, and that was it. And I told my wife here.
Right.
We were told again, you just can't tell anyone.
That's
so just
amazing.
It's mad.
Kept the stum. It's amazing, to be honest. It's amazing how it worked out. Couldn't have asked for anything better.
So that moment we saw on TV of the two of you meeting for the first time was the first time you...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was just that moment that happened, you know. Yeah.
And did you both feel good about it?
Yeah, like, like at first you think, God, if someone in here now that I can trust, absolutely, right? But then as well, I'm thinking, gee, I call him Daddy. I have to change. I have to call him Paudie because I don't know if he wants us to reveal our relationship or not. Because generally it doesn't work out in your favour in any of the other shows if you release your relationship.
Listen.
So I was thinking, oh my God.
You've now made 2 references to it, so I'm going to have to play this clip now, Andrew. Right?
No, Joe.
Unfortunately, I think we had a daddy moment.
Daddy?
I let slip and I blurted out, Daddy.
When he did call me daddy, which was low, and I think maybe we might have gotten away with it.
Daddy? Paudie?
Yeah.
Just make sure I'm not getting in their way of anyone, you know what I mean?
Thankfully, nobody heard.
I'm
Giving out to me again, Joe. He was giving out to me again.
But was there a lot of distance between you and the other contestants when that was said?
To be honest, there wasn't that much.
There wasn't, no.
Yeah, Will was very close.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will was, I'd say, no more than 6 or 7 yards away from us at that stage, and I think he was just so focused on what he was doing, and there was such a panic. There was such a panic about getting I think at that stage as well, we had maybe failed once or twice, so everyone was just trying to find more discs and just running around the forest in a panic, and everyone was speaking Gaeilge, and it was so close to Paddy as well, you know, that maybe I could have been calling him Paddy, and sure, no one would have noticed. Thank God, nobody noticed.
And just for clarity, where are you from in Limerick?
In the beautiful town of Kilmallock.
Oh, sorry, go on. Yeah.
Well, it's funny, I know that because I was chatting to a fella from Kilmallock yesterday, and I was saying, I've Paudie and Andrew are on in the morning in the show. Do you know? Can you give me any insights? Can you? I couldn't be. I couldn't. I couldn't. So you're being well covered out in Kilmallock. They're telling us nothing.
They're brilliant. The town has got behind it so well. It's just excellent.
Amazingly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, amazing.
And what is your background, Paudie?
Well, I'm from Kilmallock all my life, born and bred and stayed. And I've worked in Limerick prison for 30 years. And I retired happily after my 30 years, bought a camper van, and we just took off. Myself and my wife, Bernadette.
Did you?
Absolutely, yeah.
And where did you go?
Joe.
Well, we've done a lot of Ireland, but we've done France, Europe a good few times as well. So yeah, we just love it. We love the camper van life. It is, yeah.
Okay, Andrew, you're right. That is the dream, isn't it?
It is just to take off after retirement. It's gorgeous. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Fantastic. And I hear there was a little twist where apparently you had to say at one stage, Paudie, that you'd gone back to work for a while, many years after your retirement. What was that about?
I'll tell you, it is. I couldn't come up with any good because myself and my wife are never separated. To be honest, since I retired, we're together all the time, and happily so. But so I'd come up with some kind of I said there was a think tank going on within the prison service to try and see if we could do anything to improve the service. So, and my brother actually rang the house to say that my father's anniversary mass was coming up, and sure, better to tell him blatant lies. I had to ring him when I came home to say, look, I was working and there was nothing I could do, because he said he'd gone back to work. He couldn't be gone back to work. So I said I got the opportunity, so I've been back for a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Right. And that's it, because you were about 2 weeks out of circulation, as they say.
Absolutely, yeah. And out of contact.
And out of contact. And Andrew, I mean, so what excuse did you have to come up with?
Well, so it's actually worked out quite well in that I live in Cork, but I work in Dublin. So I told my parents that I was off to Brussels at work. I told work I was taking annual leave. So people at work wouldn't have known any better because I was in Cork, and people in Dublin, people at home then was like, oh, she's above in Brussels going to work, because I'm a civil servant. It wouldn't be unheard of for us to travel to Brussels the odd time, especially because we have the EU presidency coming up, Ireland's EU presidency coming up. So that was my kind of excuse, and yeah, it was.
Well, I certainly
much more believable than mine.
Well, that's true. I certainly hope there isn't as much treachery in the EU presidency as there was in Traitors Ireland.
Absolutely will not be. No,
that's for sure. And I mean, you mentioned Kilmallock. Are you hurling people?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. I was there yesterday.
Yeah, I like a bit of hurling. Yeah.
When we dragged out the result in the end, so we were delighted.
And what sort of reaction did you get yesterday?
Oh, sure, it was brilliant. There was all these young kids coming up looking for photographs. Yeah, and it's just excellent, to be honest. I look, I've no problem with it. Anybody that asks, I'll always do it. There's no.
Because we were.
It's unusual for me. Like I'm not used to that kind of thing.
I know.
Yeah.
We were getting pictures last week. Somebody sent us a picture. Here's me and Paudie. People stopping it. It's. But you know what I thought was fascinating by this? Like the minute I saw that you were a prison officer, did the other traitors know what you did?
Yes.
Like the instant I saw that, I thought to myself, no, hang on a second. This fella's been in tight spots, right? This thing is not going to faze him in the slightest.
No. And that, to be honest, that just kind of came natural. It happened. I rolled with whatever situation came up, and for the most part, obviously, you're thinking, your head is doing 90 all the time, to try and stay up with the game. But yeah, definitely the prison helped me big time, to be honest. Yeah.
And Andrew, as you were watching your dad and obviously playing your own game, like what was your sense of how he was doing? And I'll ask him the same question about you.
As in when I was watching it on television?
No, just as if the game was developing and you were in there.
Oh, yeah. Well, at first, I think I asked you at one stage, do you have any names or do you have any thoughts or ideas? And you turned to me and said, no, because no one's really chatting to me. And I was like, what? Hold on a minute now. That is not the man I know. You'll be up chatting to everyone yourself, just like me. And I thought, at first I was like, 1 second now. And then I thought, right, no, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt here. And then it kind of went on like that. There was times I was like, geez, that's not like him at all, So I thought maybe he's kind of a bit of a character, because we didn't know the other person was going in. I didn't know how he wanted to play the game. So I just kind of said, well, he might have his own way of playing the game and I'm not going to question it. That kind of way?
Yeah. And then for you, Paudie, how did you think Andrew was getting on inside?
I thought he was flying it until his name was brought up at the table. He was absolutely coasting. And for no reason, one other player brought his name up with no explanation. And then it just kind of went downhill from there, unfortunately. He was playing a blinder.
It's a game, it's a game where I suppose if people get your name in their head, they're very much thinking, well, if they're looking at him, they're not looking at me. So we'll just kind of keep that snowball rolling,
And Paudie, do you regret recruiting Andrew as a traitor ultimately?
Absolutely not. No. I thought it was a great idea. And my plan...
Oh, Joey!
I thought it was a great idea. And my plan, and I expressed this to him, was because Nick was driving the getting out of faithful rather than a traitor. I said, we'll murder Nick tonight. And then at the table, you'll be able to defend that, saying, look, they did this just to throw me under the bus.
It's all a bit too convenient. Yeah, exactly. It's all a bit too convenient.
That was the plan. And then Siobhan walked in and said, no murder tonight. And we said, oh my God,
that threw the two of us.
Gone. Yeah.
How good...
Plan had to change from there, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
How good is Siobhan McSweeney?
Excellent. Absolutely excellent.
Amazing. I think Linda, sorry Daddy. Linda said it at one stage. She goes, blessed art thou amongst women. And I think she hit the nail on the head with that. She's absolutely brilliant.
And how did you react, Andrew, when the hood went back and the traitor was none other than your dad, Paudie?
I was between two people, himself and Patrick, and I was kind of almost in denial about him, so I kind of almost convinced myself it was Patrick. So I was like, I wasn't totally surprised, but I was delighted as well, because that means, there's a bit more trust. As soon as I'm in the conclave, I can trust him. But if it was Patrick, I would have been saying, oh, well, he brought me in to throw me underneath the bus. Yeah. But because it was my dad, he brought me in with the best of intentions. And you asked him whether or not he regretted bringing me in. He should not regret bringing me in, because it was a phenomenal experience. I got to experience the conclave. Yeah. It was, And I said it when I started the game. I just wanted to experience the game, all of the game. And I actually did, except for murdering.
Yeah, I know,
I forgot to murder someone.
You experienced more than I did in that sense, because you got both sides, faithful and traitor side.
Now, we're a big fan of the Traitors in our house, so I would have seen the UK version. And really enjoyed it. But Paudie, the one thing I was worried about from day one, and obviously we wanted the Limerick crew to win this, of course we did, was that you were an original traitor. It's very hard to go through the entire and win it as an original traitor, isn't it?
It's not impossible, because it has been done, but it is very, very difficult. And when my name went off the table, I probably didn't network enough at that stage to try and see I was talking to a lot of people, and I should have maybe gone a little harder on other people, so. But look, I've no regrets, to be honest. I enjoyed it.
It's interesting. At this stage of the game, you can see it's very much about alliances and kind of who your friends are, and they're the ones kind of bringing you along. So you could see the players that don't necessarily have the big alliances are the ones that are kind of like poor old Joanna last night. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Well, no. I'm glad you mentioned that, right? Because obviously we're getting reaction as we would expect. And Geraldine says, Joe, they were all brilliant. Loved Paudie. Well done, and well done to Andrew as well. Aoife says, best exit ever on a TV programme when Paudie left. Janet says, well done, Paudie and Andrew. You did Limerick so proud. And then Catherine says, to take up the point that you were making, and again, spoiler alert, Joe, last night's episode was horrible. I think Joanna was really hurt. She made a comment about the girls being mean girls as she left, and then they all felt really guilty. Are those emotions real? Do ask Paudie, because to me, what I saw last night was very real, says Catherine. Paudie?
Yeah, I believe they were real. I wasn't there, obviously, but, at that stage. But I do, people do get very, very emotional in there. And, at the drop of a hat, to be honest, because all your senses are heightened. So, and obviously emotion is one of those, and you do break down, if for want of a better word, with situations like that, especially when they got it wrong. Yeah. If Joanna had gone out as a traitor, they would have been just.
Oh yes,
yeah,
the fact emotion, she was a faithful, of course. Exactly, and what did you think of it, Andrew?
Yeah, to be honest, just to echo what my dad said, people's emotions are so heightened, and I do think it was genuine, that the guilt afterwards, because to be honest, in my experience of meeting those people as well, like meeting the girls, like there wasn't a bad bone in their body, and I'd say they're dead sound, and just I think it was just the heightened emotions of the round table and the heightened emotions of Amy having gone the night before. I think Kelly was quite close to her, and I think it just all culminated in the round table, and I feel very bad for all of them, to be honest.
There's an unfortunate element in this, in that some people are being pursued on social media as if those interacting with this don't realise it's a TV programme, guys.
It's a game.
Yes.
It's a game, and everybody's playing it.
Oh my God.
Everybody's
it's a game. Yeah, and I think and nobody should get flack for playing the game the way they think is best at the time, because again, you're in there, emotions are high, like senses are heightened, and you don't know your left from your right. Well, I didn't more often than not. So I mean, just I'd say a bit of slack, I think, for people, just because it's all so tough in there.
Do you have a Traitors WhatsApp group?
No. Well, we obviously were in contact with it, with individuals, that kind of thing. But there's no group at the moment. I'd say we might do it after the show finishes, something like that. But at the moment, no.
I'm not sure Joanna would want to be included. But
in fairness to her, I'd say, all these things happen like that at the moment, and you might be a small bit, emotional or whatever. But then you settle down and you realise this was all a game, So Joanna, I'm sure, will be sound.
And I mean, obviously, neither of you know who's won. Would you be putting your money on one or the other?
Well, I've said this morning to somebody. I'm not a betting man, so I'd be putting no money on. But I could not say honestly which one of those players. They're excellent players, every one of them, and any of them could win, or any group could win. So it's up there still, and it's all to do still. So
Andrew.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think even if you just look at the state of the game at the moment, I think Ben and Nick are in a very strong position at the moment. But like, this game can turn on a sixpence. Yeah. I mean, I was there just before my own round table saying, no, I don't expect any heat in me, and then all of a sudden everyone came at me. So it just the game can turn so quickly. So yeah, no, I think the lads are in a good strong position, but I'm not a betting man either. Following my father's footsteps there.
Absolutely. And then Slane Castle, and the weather was mixed. Some of the outside shots at times were.
Honestly, I remember saying this. I know I took a bat one day and it fell into the water, but other than that, we never had rain.
Didn't you?
The day in the river.
It was lovely.
The day in the river, I think we might have had rain.
Yeah.
We had wetsuits on that day, so it was grand. Yeah.
And
it was gorgeous. It was really nice.
Have you had to keep the secret, lads?
Well, actually, somebody pointed out to me yesterday. I was talking to Patrick, and he said, 'tis 6 months to the day yesterday since we entered the castle.
Is it?
Wow.
Yeah, since we entered the castle.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Wow. So you had to sit there for a long time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Push it all to the side and just get on with daily life. That was the only way, Joe.
I mean, the other thing I wondered about Paudie was, and I enjoyed this on Friday night on the Late Late Show, and it was the fact that all of you were out with the best bib and tucker. Like, being on the Late Late's still a big deal, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
It's such a big deal.
Yeah, fair play to everyone that helped there, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it was great. Yeah.
That was a nice occasion, was it?
It was absolutely brilliant. Listen, as I said to Patrick Keelty, my aspirations about the Late Late was to get a ticket. And I've tried several times, I couldn't get them. This was just, this was another level as well. Like, it's just fantastic.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. When do you imagine, Paudie, that it's going to kind of settle down to back to being Paudie from Kilmallock rather than Paudie from the Traitors?
It's a good question. I actually don't know the answer. And I'm not, I'm not thinking about it either, to be honest. It's just, I'll just go along with it and see what happens. And I'm glad that there's so much positivity coming. I said it to you already. It is just fantastic and just excellent.
Am I hearing that it might be on the BBC, Traitors Ireland?
Well, I got a text in the last hour, but I don't know where that's shown at, so I can't say. Right. But there was a text saying that there is I think they were saying it is after being announced, but I don't know.
I mean, I was scratching my head a lot in the initial stages of it, because I was wondering that because Ireland is so small and the way we all relate to each other, would there be the willingness to go after each other? Because I've seen some of the Americans, but I came to the conclusion it was a little bit like inter-parish rivalry, wasn't it? Where,
Well, it wasn't really, though.
No, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't inter-parish.
Yeah.
It was, situations kind of dictated what happened, and that's genuinely what happened. There was no he's from so-and-so, or he's doing that, or she's there, and nothing like that. It was,
none of that,
it was the situation that dictated. Whatever that was at the time, at the moment, you just went with it in, I didn't care where anybody was from or anywhere or, or anything else, so that didn't matter.
And I mean, I would say, and you guys obviously will struggle to say this because there's a bit of bias having been in it, but I do think the Traitors Ireland is the best I've seen of any of them. Genuinely not. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of them, and I actually, looking back at this one, I think it's excellently well done, to be honest. Yeah, I think
the production has been amazing, but equally just the actual show itself, the storylines itself, like the chaos in the first few episodes. The three traitors kind of turning each other. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that in any other one.
I have to correct that record. The three traitors did not turn on each other. Two traitors turned on me.
That's right.
And that's a record.
Well, we know that, Paudie.
That's on the record.
Come on, Limerick.
You're spot on. It's just, and you wonder in these things how it's going to impact. There are two types of people I've come across: those who were fans of the Traitors and couldn't wait for it to start. But there's a huge swathe of people who knew nothing about it and are now obsessed with the Traitors Ireland, aren't they?
I met a man in Central Charleville today. Actually, I was walking out to get some diesel there, and he said to me, he never ever watched that show. He said, midway through the show, he'd a holiday booked in Spain. He said, I was on my phone every night trying to watch it. He said, it was just enthralling. He said, it was brilliant. He said, I never watched it before. He said, it's just excellent.
And I heard a story, Andrew, that apparently the ratings for it, that, the equivalent of ratings would be something like the final game in a Six Nations rugby championship where Ireland are with a chance of winning the Grand Slam. They're phenomenal, apparently.
Phenomenal. I think it's only been rivaled, like you said, by sports events, which is just out of this world for any show in Ireland. It's amazing, to be honest. Amazing. Can't get over it. And as Eddie was saying there, like, people are coming up to me like, I've never watched the show before, but oh my God, it's amazing. They're like, which one would you watch next? And blah 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 blah. And I'm like, this is wild.
Well, I would suggest, Paudie, that you and your good wife take the camper van to the UK now, because the minute this goes on, you're going to become as famous over there as you are here. Well, listen, guys, you did just a fantastic job, and you represented yourselves in Limerick so well. It's been such fun to watch it. Love the sense of success with it. And as I say, I was trying to think this morning, like, who's come in here that would have had the level of impact that Paudie had around the office this morning? There are very, very few, and we've had our share, I can tell you, in here. And likewise, so. Andrew, listen, fair play to you. Now, look, I should say, Paudie, finally, that there is a desk between us, and I'm glad, because I'm not a hugger.
But Joe, I've made it quite clear. I am a hugger. I have no problem with it. So if you want a hug, Joe, you're welcome.
I can have a hug. Listen, fantastic.
Confirmed, Joe. He's
All right,
a
well, look, there's only tonight and tomorrow night, isn't that
That's
it?
it.
That's
Yeah.
it. So, can you imagine what the
What are we
audience
gonna do
figures will be
after
like? Yeah, tonight.
Oh, I'd say out of this world. Out of this world, I'd say. And deservedly so. Like Daddy was saying, that the players on this game are they're brilliant at the moment.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And finally, Paudie, there is a couple of days left. Are you thinking of throwing your hat in the ring for the presidency?
I did say this to somebody this morning as well, Joe, and I have to make it very clear. The president of the local resident society would be too much for me, to be honest. I have to say that. Yeah.
Well, Andrew might be your campaign manager. You know?
Well, maybe,
I mean, maybe
things could change.
He's well got with the EU, like. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right, listen, fantastic guys. Thank you
Thanks
so
very
much
much,
for
Joe,
coming
for
in.
having
us.
So
Thanks so much,
enjoyed
Joe.
having you.
Thank you so
That
much.
is Paudie and Andrew from the Traitors. We'll be back with something much more mundane after this.